Hi, in this video, we are going to discuss how to use Feign. So let's go to STS first. Here I have 4 microservices and the Book My Hotel web application. I'm not going to make any changes in the microservices because none of my microservices is calling other microservice. But Book My Hotel web application is calling all the microservices. So I'm going to make changes over here. Now, Feign is used for declarative REST API calls. Here in the pom.xml of my web application, I have added the dependency Spring Cloud Starter Open Feign. And then I'll go to my main class Book My Hotel application, and here I have added this annotation Enable Feign Clients. So far, what we have seen, let's first revisit that. We know that for the microservices, we have our REST endpoint. So this is the search API controller, which is the REST endpoint for the search microservice, right? And here this is annotated with REST controller. I have the method get list of specific hotels, and there is a get mapping annotation over it. It is mapping the slash API slash search to this method, and I have city, state and country as the arguments, which are annotated with request param, and there inside it there is a call to search hotel service. Now to call this REST API, I have search API service in my web application. Here I have auto-wired the REST template, and then I have used this REST template to make a call to my REST API. And I have written the complete implementation for doing that. But what if I don't want to do this implementation? Is there some easier way of calling the REST API? Feign provides us a easier way of calling the REST API, and the implementation is auto-generated. So now this is the search API service which I have shown you in the last slide, and we have discussed it previously. So the implementation here in the method. But now look at this section. Here I have created an interface search API service. I have annotated it with Feign client, and I have specified the name as search-service. This is the name of the microservice with which this microservice is registered to the Eureka. Okay, and this is my method get list of specific hotels, and this is annotated with get mapping, which has path and produces same as that of the REST API, and all the parameters city, state and country, which are annotated with request param annotation. So all the annotations which were there in the REST API are there in my interface also. So notice in my REST API, I have this get mapping annotation and request param annotation, and these are the paths. This is the path, and this is the produces. So in the same way, here also I have exactly same method definition, right? So what happens is that Feign auto generates the implementation of this interface. And what we have to do is that whatever is there at the server end, that is at the REST API end, we are going to add that at the client end, which is web application in my case. So generally it is always added at the server end only, but in the case of Feign, we are going to add this at the interface in the client end, right? So now let's go back to our STS. Here this is the search API service interface, which I have just shown you. Okay, now let's look into another interface, hotel API service. Okay, so this here also I have annotated it with fan client, and then I have specified the name of the microservice. Then this is the method with the annotations as same as that of the one in the REST API. Okay, now in the controller of my Book My Hotel web application, I have auto-wired search API service. Okay, so search API service is the variable of my interface, search API service, which I have created over here, right? And I've shown you. Now notice that I have used this search API service to call the method. Now in this search API service variable, the auto-generated proxy is injected. So when we are calling this method, the method is called on the proxy implementation. That proxy implementation will get the list of all the instances from the Eureka registry, and then it will do the load balancing using ribbon, pick up a particular instance and make a call to that instance, right? And what are the changes in the application YAML file? Do I need to make any changes in the ribbon configuration? No, my ribbon configuration is same as that of before. Okay, so what all I have done here is I have added the dependency in the main class. I have added enable Feign clients in my services. Instead of my classes, I have created interfaces and annotated it with Feign client and specified the name of the microservice. And I have done the annotations as that of, I have used the annotation which is same as that of my REST API, and the implementation is auto generated. Then I have used this hotel API service to make calls which will go to the particular instance and call the REST API. Okay, thank you.